Italian politics have never been simple. The current political crisis embroiling the country has caused significant concern for the EU as well as global markets. On Sunday, Italian President Sergio Mattarella vetoed Paolo Savona to serve as the country's next finance minister. The president then turned to pro-austerity economist Carlo Cottarelli to form the next technocratic government. It's a government, though, unlikely to be approved by the anti-establishment Five Star Movement and the far-right League Party, the two parties which came out on top in Italy's March election.
This new government, Cottarelli's government, goes to the chambers and there is an overall no vote, then you see, this means that Italy does not have a government. And this means that Italy would be a very feeble negotiator on G7 in Europe and, of course, the issue of the capital market.
Cottarelli and President Mattarella met briefly on Wednesday to try and find a way out of the current situation. But according to the head of the Foreign Affairs Committee for the Five Star Movement, the only way out is for the president to reconsider their proposal for finance minister.
We think that the only solution now is accept this government that we brought to him on Sunday with Savona, or going back to the votation. Yeah. We will not support any different government from the one that was voted by people.
The two parties, the Five Star Movement and the League, share little in common, but do agree on limiting the European Union's hand in Italian affairs.
But electoral promises can be very different to political reality. Well, there's been a lot of anti-EU rhetoric coming out of the League and a lot of anti-austerity economic promises from the Five Star Movement. There's also a lot of doubt as to what both these parties can really follow through with.
The Five Star Movement has promised to reduce taxes and roll out universal basic income for the unemployed, a move that could jeopardize Italy's obligation to the European Monetary Union to reduce its debt ratio by 60%.
Withdrawing from the euro is extremely difficult, extremely complicated, and Italy would pay a very high price for it. So it is very clear that within the League this hypothesis has been discussed. How realistic is, if they want to do that, can they do that? Most likely they cannot.
Analysts predict the two parties will drop their insistence on Savona as finance minister in order to resurrect their bid to govern together, or the two parties will abstain from voting on Cottarelli's interim government to return some confidence to the markets until new elections are called, likely in the fall. If a coalition populist government is formed between the Five Star Movement and the League, even if a temporary one, it will be the first in Western Europe and of lasting effects across the Union. Natalie Carney for CGTN in Rome.